The higher you go, the less stable the feedback becomes, and the less of it you receive. Hi, my name is Steph Fitzgerald, and I'm the Experience Architect. I design how systems shape human experience. And this is Experience Systems, where leadership, psychology, and design converge into living systems. Most people think the story of Icarus is simple. Don't fly too high. Don't get too ambitious. Don't overreach. But that's not what the story shows, because Icarus didn't fall because he wanted more. He fell because he wasn't prepared for what more required. Elevation isn't just moving up. It's entering a different system where expectations change, where feedback changes, where identity begins to shift, and your nervous system has to catch up to a reality it hasn't experienced before. Growth doesn't feel like success. It often feels like disorientation. And this isn't just a metaphor. It's physical. If you've ever hiked at elevation, you already understand this. The higher you go, the thinner the air becomes. Your body has to work harder for the same movement. Things that felt easy suddenly don't. And if you push too fast, your body doesn't adapt. It reacts. Altitude sickness isn't failure. It's a signal. Your body telling you you're in an environment you haven't adapted to yet. Headaches, fatigue, disorientation. Not because you're weak, but because the conditions changed. And if you look at Everest, the summit isn't the hardest part. It's the altitude. Thousands of people attempt it. Only a fraction make it to the top. And many don't return back because they lack skill. They turn back because their bodies can't sustain the environment. Success works the same way. The higher you go, the less oxygen there is. Not literally, but systemically. Less feedback, less correction, less immediate signal. And if you haven't adapted, you start to feel it. Disorientation, fatigue, doubt. Not because you're failing, but because you're operating at an altitude you haven't stabilized for yet. And if we take this one step further and look at what we had to build just to survive at altitude, at cruising altitude, humans can't function normally. The air is too thin. Oxygen levels are too low. So what do? We redesign the environment. We pressurize the cabin. We create an artificial system that allows the human body to operate in a place it was never designed for. You don't expect people to adapt instantly. We design systems to support them at altitude, but in life, in leadership, in growth, we often do the opposite. We elevate people and expect them to function without changing the environment around them. And this is where something shifts. The higher you go, the less stable the feedback becomes, and the less of it you receive. But it's not that feedback decreases. It degrades. Clear feedback starts to disappear. And what replaces it is smaller, safer, less useful, surface level critique, tone, minor details. Because meaningful feedback becomes risky. And this is where perfection shows up. Not as excellence, but as a substitute. Perfection is not growth. It's what systems focus on. When they can't evaluate growth, because real growth requires failure, repeated failure, adjustment, iteration, at altitude. Failure becomes your most reliable feedback system. And eventually something else changes. The structure around you starts to disappear. Fewer corrections, fewer clear signals, fewer people telling you what good looks like. And at first, that feels like freedom. But it's not just freedom. It's responsibility. Because at a certain level, at a certain point, you don't just need to meet the bar. You set it. And this isn't just for the people at the top. It happens on the way up. Every new level asks the same question. What will you define as acceptable here? And this is where most people get stuck because they bring the wrong voice. They bring the wrong voice with them. The internal critic, the voice that says, not good enough, not ready, not there yet. That voice worked before when feedback was constant, when correction was immediate. But at altitude, that voice doesn't guide you. It destabilizes you. Because now, you don't need more criticism. You need leadership. And leadership sounds different. Adjust. Try again. Learn from this. Keep moving. At a certain level, growth depends on replacing the internal critic with an internal coach. So if things feel unstable right now, if what used to work doesn't, if you feel like you're in between who you were and who you're becoming, you might not be failing. You might be elevating. And the work now isn't to go back down. It's to learn how to stay. We don't fall because we rise. We fall when we don't know how to live there yet. This is Experience Systems, and this is how we begin to sustain what we grow into.